Just takes a while. That's all we got here, folks. It just takes a while. All right, gang. It's Tuesday evening, about to be Tuesday night. I tried to get this thing started so I'd have a little bit of daylight so I wouldn't have to turn lights on in the background. So I'll just have to go in and edit this thing in the long run. Okay. Where I could start here, of course, the Caps are playing tonight. Uh, Drawing a blank now with the playing tonight. I'm sorry. But it seems as though Dale Hunter's got it, he's got the ship right. At least I hope, I like to believe he's got it right. But that is that. Oh, Lord. Now, what I want to really get around to was the game Sunday. I have to be completely honest and say I can't give an accurate description of this game. By all rights, this should have been a blowout on the part of New England. It should have been. There's no way in hell that the Redskins should have been in this game, let alone be in a position to tie the game and send it into overtime at the end. But I have to say that there are some things to be, somewhat hopeful about. Roy Halou is the second coming of Stephen Davis. You just heard it from me. I am absolutely convinced this guy is the future as far as the running back position for the Redskins. And of course, this is just going on the assumption Tim Hightower does come back next year. So at least there'll be a two-headed monster. But that was the surprise on Sunday, was somehow Shanahan rediscovered the running game. And I'm going to sit and tell this right now. I think I may have said it once upon a time, or I might have said it once before. But West Coast offense is not Redskins football. I'm sorry. Anybody that thinks this is, the thing, I'm sorry that I have to tell you the truth. It's not. And it never was. But as I was saying, Sunday, it was just a bit of a surprise, to see that suddenly there was a running game. Suddenly Rex Grossman remembered how to throw the ball and find receivers. But still, those might be the only positive aspects of the game. You get to everything else, which is that there was a breakdown all over. This being the first of the 4 games that Trent Williams and Fred Davis have to sit out because of their drug suspensions and shit like that. So, you get this. D'Angelo Hall lived up to his new verb. I don't know if I ever said this before, but a couple weeks ago, watched a post-game show there for Comcast, or CSN Washington, they call it. And the only reason I even look at the post-game show is look at the text messaging. And somebody actually came up with a beauty. He said, I hate it when I put my toast in the oven only to see it be dehauled. The reference thing in the D'Angelo Hall gets burned, and this is now the new reference. Well, that happened Sunday. He fell asleep on a play where the tight end for New England, Gronkowski, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, where he gets the ball, nobody lays a hand on him. He gets up, starts heading for the sidelines, and basically, here's D'Angelo Hall just standing around like, am I supposed to get this guy? Yeah. I mean, there's your story right there. And, gets to the end, Santana Moss fucked up on 2 plays. One was what would have been the apparent tying touchdown. He gets called on offensive interference, and then 2 plays after that is where Rex Grossman throws him the ball, and somehow he bats it right into the hands of a defender. Game's over. And you get to the fun part, which is seeing Tom Brady on the sideline screaming at his offensive coordinator. And said, I don't think I'd ever seen that before. I don't think I'd ever seen Tom Brady snap like that. and the reason being that he'd thrown, what would have been the dagger in the, for the game. It really would have been the dagger that just would have ended the game right there. But he got picked off and all of that. Um, while we're on the subject of Thomasina, this is my new name for him, Thomasina Brady. How much more of a pussy can this be? And how much did the NFL, how retentive is the NFL? They called the penalty on London Fletcher. By the way, the penalty really is that, Brady's going into the slide. At that point, they consider you a defenseless player and you can't hit him. I said, okay, that's why, and this is what I told my brother when he calls me at halftime, and I'm trying to explain it to him. But then the refs say, well, here's London Fletcher. He's taking his forearm going on Tom Brady's head. I said, I looked at this replay. Stop. The forearm's nowhere near the head. It's nowhere near. It's like more like, you hit him in the chest. No, the officials say you got to do that. And then you turn around and basically watch Rex Grossman get pummeled, but stay there and even breathe on Tom Brady, and suddenly there's a flag. Why don't you just put a fucking sundress on him? I don't know. I mean, you have to understand, the penalty was correct, but they sort of assessed it the wrong way. I mean, okay, you're hitting a guy when he's defenseless, all right, but this wasn't even a forearm. But I have to tell you, I said, this was not the only game here. There were a whole bunch of games on Sunday where the officials just fucked up, and I mean fucked up. I don't know what it was. I know with the Tennessee game, I'm trying to remember if they would play. Yeah, they were playing Tampa. Jake Locker goes in for Matt Hasselbeck. In the third quarter. He runs in for what the officials called a touchdown. I'm looking at the replay on this because I was the Red Zone channel like everybody else does. And I'm looking, and Jake Locker's running. He gets hit really about the 1 yard line. He's going out of bounds. Somehow he puts the ball in his left hand, trying to hit the pylon. It's not even near the pylon. I mean, even if it was, it's like on the wrong side of the pylon. So it's clearly out of bounds. From the angle I was seeing, he was clearly out of bounds, and the ball itself was on the wrong side of the pylon. But they called this a touchdown. It didn't matter because Tennessee lost, but still. And then the one that I know there are going to be people in Minnesota that will talk about this. With the Minnesota-Detroit game, right at the very end. For some reason, the Vikings took Christian Ponder out because the Lions were doing a bitch slap on him. And you bring in this guy, Joe Webb. Basically, I'm thinking this guy was holding a clipboard before. And, the first play from scrimmage, he goes 55 yards for a touchdown. But the amazing thing is that the Vikings actually had a chance to win the game. On the last play, Joe Webb has it. He's trying to run. Ball gets knocked out of his hands. This thing's like a greased pig, which of course at this point doesn't matter. Once you fall on it, the game's over. But it's while the ball gets hit, as it's hit out of his hand, he drops it, he begins to fumble, and the ball's going around. I don't know who it was for the Lions, had a big handful of Joe Webb's face mask, and the officials don't call it. Figure this one. The officials don't call it. So the Zebras did not acquit themselves in any way, shape, or form on Sunday. Believe me. So, you get to all of that. And it just was not a good week for anybody across the NFL universe. So at any rate, it now means the Redskins at 4-9. It's a losing record. The Mike Shanahan death watch begins, as far as I'm concerned. Actually, I think it started last year, as far as I'm concerned. But no, the death watch begins at some point. You know, Snyder has to realize this ain't working. But who are you going to get in to replace him? I mean, first of all, really, obviously you're going to have to draft a quarterback. Andrew Luck will be gone. I don't know if Robert Griffin III, the guy from Baylor won the Heisman Trophy. I don't even know if he'd be available when it's the Redskins' turn to draft. Who knows? But whoever they draft, you got to get an entirely new offense. And I said this earlier in this video, and I'll say it again. The West Coast offense is not Redskins football. Somebody find a goddamn way to just get Shanahan and his stooges out of here. And just blow this thing up, start with a whole new offense, and, do what has to be done. So that's it. I don't have anything else. It's getting dark, and I don't feel like turning the lights on. I'm trying to do this thing, as I said earlier. I tried doing this thing in daylight, or what little daylight there was left. So at least we'll find a way to do to my happy shiny face here. I'll find some way to edit this video, and try to make it lighter so you can actually see me. I will make an attempt here. So I am done. I'm gonna get around to doing this damn thing. I tried doing it yesterday and it would not work. So as always, I get to say, adios, motherfuckers. Enjoy your day. Rock the red, what have you. One final note: Sidney Crosby now decides, he's out indefinitely. Apparently, the concussion is not healing well. Well, I don't know. It's like every time I stand here and you mention his name or you say Penguins, I get hate mail on this, on my channel. But anyway, I just thought I'd throw that in as the very end. Just so we realize that I do keep up on things. So we will see you soon. Adios, motherfuckers. Enjoy and all that.